Good day, ladies and gents. Today we're doing continuing Unit 6, and we're going to be doing the triangle proofs. So on page 1, make sure that you have these steps out in front of you. So step 1, use your givens. Step 2, work off your givens. So if there's, for instance, that there's 3 sides, use those 3 sides. If that answers your question, stop there. Also, if you have parallel lines, you're going to have to work off the parallel lines, like the alternate interior, stuff like that. So work off of your givens. Then vertical angles. If you still didn't have enough information, try vertical angles. If that's still not enough, try reflexive property. And now you can do AA similarity, SSS similarity, or SAS similarity. And remember, corresponding sides proportional, corresponding angles are congruent. Very important. Okay, so we're on page 25 of our notes. All right, let's get this going. So determine if the triangles are similar, AA similarity, SAS similarity, or SSS similarity, or not similar at all. If the triangles are similar, give the similarity statement. So triangle whatever is similar to what triangle. And if it's not similar, just say nope, and I'm happy with that. Okay, so right here, what do we have? So what I suggest you do is separate the 2 triangles. So that will really help you figure out what's going on. So the smaller triangle, black. So the smaller triangle, where this is X, this is W, and this is T. And I'll zoom in just a little bit for you. Okay, and where this is 28, this is 30, and we don't know what the third side is. Okay, and then the bigger triangle, where this is X, this is Z, and this is Y. And all of this distance is whatever 28 plus 7 is, which is 35. And all this is 30 plus 8, which is 38. And we don't know what the third side is. And remember, if I turn this, you'll probably see a little better. So if you look at your notes, we can do the reflexive property because we separated the 2 triangles. The top angle was equal to each other. So this right here, we know that angle X is equal to angle X. Okay, now ask yourself, how many sides were equal to each, how many sides did you have? You had 2 sides. So if you had 2 sides, then we're definitely going to be trying to use the SAS similarity. That's what we're going to aim for, because there's only 2 sides. If there were any sides at all, it's definitely not AA similarity. If there's not 3 sides, it's not SSS similarity. So it's SAS similarity. And for this to work, we know we need to have the angle be where the 2 sides meet. So when the 2 sides meet, does X, and where these 2 sides meet, X. So they're supposed to be congruent to each other, are they? Yes, they are. So I still have a chance of SAS similarity. So at this moment, this is only a chance. So the angles are happy, but now I have to check that the sides are proportional. So how do we do that? Okay, so triangle. Let's see. So not triangle. Sorry. We write the angles from the sides. We write the sides from least to greatest. Now, right here they said XWT goes on top, so we're gonna do this on top. So 28 and 30 from least to greatest, and that would match up over here from least to greatest. That'd be 35 and 38. So the question is, are those congruent to each other? That is the question. So in my calculator, I'm going to type in 28 divided by 35, and we get 0.8. Over here, we get 30 divided by 38, and we get 0.789, all that jazz. So this, so even though we were trying SAS, it didn't work because the sides were not proportional. So this is not similar. So this doesn't happen. There's nothing there. So we can just say nope, or we can just not answer it at all. And just, okay, so this was not similar, so there was no similarity statement that we had to do. All right, let's go to the next problem. Okay, number 2. So, but on our paper, your guys are just going to write nope because that's a blank space. You want to fill that out. Okay, so number 2. So on this one, we're going to have to really focus on that. That will help us out. We're actually going to be solving for x. Okay, so in this case, we're going to be doing triangle CDG over triangle EDF. So this is the top, this is the bottom. Okay, so pick a side, any side. It doesn't matter at this moment. Pick a side, any side, because they're already saying similar. I don't know, I'm just going to pick 40. Just pick a random side. You could pick any 4 that they gave you. Okay, so DG. So here's D, here's G. So did that go on the top or the bottom? It went on the top. So 40. This is a bubble thought. So 40. And when I did D and G, what matches in the same position as D and G? D and F. So every time I say 40, I'm going to be doing what's D and F? 2x plus 7. So that's going to be over 2x plus 7. All right, and that's going to be equal to, okay, pick another side. Let's see if I did this one. All right, so 5x minus 2, that's D to E. D to E, okay, that's on the bottom. So the top has a D, but it doesn't have an E. So D and E goes on the bottom. D to E would be 5x minus 2. And that matches up with, okay, so D and E matches up with D and C. There's D, there's C. So 48 goes on top. Okay, so now we would do cross product. So these two go together. So 40 times 5x minus 2. And these two go together. 48 times 2x plus 7. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you can see this better. Okay, so we're going to distribute. So 40 times 5, we get 200x. 40 times negative 2 is negative 80, equals 48 times 2, which is 96x, and 48 times 7, which is plus 336. All right, so we're going to solve. So I'm going to subtract 96x from both sides. I'm running out of room, so we'll just write that down later. Okay, so 200 minus 96, I get 104 minus 80 is equal to 336. Forgot the x. Add 80 to both sides. 104x is equal to 336 plus 80. We get 416. And we're going to divide 104 on both sides. We get x is equal to 4. And that was our answer. So what was x equal to? X was equal to 4. And that was our answer. You should really double check and plug it back into the original picture just to check yourself. But really, that's as far as you really need to go. I'm just going to double check. So this would have been 40 over, so 2 times 4 plus 7. That'd be 15. And then 48 over 5 times 4 minus 2, which was 18. And if I divide those, 40 divided by 15 would have been 2.6 repeating forever. And 48 divided by 18 is also 2.6 repeating forever and ever and ever. So I know I'm doing this correctly. So the answer was 4. All right, sweet. All right, number 3. Just breezing right along here. Okay, so on this problem, okay, so remember we have to do our givens first. So if you look at page 1, so we have to do our givens first. So our given, so it is given that TE is, so TE compares with TA, and TS compares with TM. Right? So that's kind of how we've been doing it. So I just keeping that standard up. Okay, so now where was that? So that was so it is given this. All right, so where does that say it? TETATSTM. That's C. Just writing it down over TM. That's letter C. All right, so we took care of that one. Okay, the reflexive property states a value is equal to itself. Therefore, okay, so when we had this reflexive property, that would be this sucker. So that would be the top of the triangle. So if we turn this, be able to see it better. So that would be angle T is equal to angle T, right? So that angle right there. So angle T. So we're looking at the angles. So that's this triangle. So not that. That's this triangle angles. So we're talking about angles are equal to each other. So there's angles here. So we already took care of this one. So we're either talking about this one or we're talking about this one. And both of them have the T's in the center. So both of them have the possibility of being what we're talking about. So we have to figure out which one they want. So both of them said ETS. So we're trying to figure out this one right here. So what's the difference between these two? The one says MTA and the other one says ATM. They're backwards from each other. So what they're trying to say is order matters. So all we have to figure out is, does E go with M or does E go with A? That's what we need to figure out. And how you can figure that out is two ways. Either look at what the given was or look at what you have, what you're trying to prove. And they said that T needs to match up with T, S needs to match up with M, and E matches up with A. So that's your goal. So let's see. E is supposed to match up with A. So the better choice would be this one right here. So this is the better choice. So both of them are technically correct, but because it has that little similar thing on the top, so congruent, so the similar little symbol, the little squiggly, that means that order matters. So this is the better choice, I. So I is what we need. So angle, basically angle T is equal to angle T. All right, so I is the better choice. So we took care of that one. Okay, and this was no good. Okay, then due to the blank similarity postulate. Okay, so now that we have that these sides are proportional and that this angle is equal, what is this? Well, how many sides did you have? 1, 2. And you had one angle. So what do you think you're going to be using? We're going to be using either AA similarity, SSS similarity, or SAS similarity. Which one do you feel? SAS similarity. So because of the SAS similarity, which is H, so it's letter H, we can state something. So once we have the similarity statement, we can actually say the triangles are similar. And so, so what were the triangles? So what are the triangles? So we're trying to say triangles are similar. So it's going to be one of these three. So it's either B, E, or J. Those are your choices. Okay, so once again, use what you're trying to prove. T is supposed to be in the same position as T. Yep, that works. S is in the same position as M, and E is with A. Okay, so B looks like the better choice at the moment. Well, let's see. T and T, S and M. So this was no good. And then, yeah, this is no good. So just use what you're trying to prove, and that will actually kick out a lot of your options because the letters need to match. So our better choice on this one is B. And so triangle TSE is similar to triangle TMA. Okay, and then hence it can now be proven that these two triangles are these two angles are similar, or these two angles are equal. Why? Okay, so we've done this before when we were doing CPCTC, right? So this would so look at this. So it's K, L, or M. So just read it. So what are we talking about? Angles, right? Corresponding angles, corresponding angles, corresponding sides. So it's not this. It's definitely not M because we're not talking about sides. We're talking about corresponding angles. Corresponding angles, what are they supposed to do? corresponding angles are supposed to be congruent. So corresponding angles are similar? No. Corresponding angles are parallel, lines are congruent. So there we go. So it says corresponding angles are congruent. That was the one we want. That's the only one that makes sense. So it's L. So CP, C, corresponding parts of similar triangles are similar, basically. Okay, but yeah, it's this sucker. Okay, so we have that. And last problem. Let's do this. All right, so number 4. Okay, always do your givens first, right? So we're going to have angle J is congruent to angle R because it was given. So where does that say that? That's E. And over on this side, given, A. All right, and then we have angle. So we need to make sure we mark that. So J is equal to R. Awesome. Then they say angle 1 is equal to angle 1. All right, so we're going to put a double because the singles are being used. So put a double. Now Y is 1 equal to 2. So if you just keep following the steps, we already did our givens. We worked off our givens. Oh, look, we can do vertical now. Oh, that's exactly what we're doing, vertical. So angle 1 is equal to angle 2 because they are vertical angles, which is B. Vertical, which is B. And you keep marking it. All right, now why are those two triangles similar? Okay, what did we just talk about? The only thing we've talked about are angles. So that would be AA similarity. So those two triangles are similar because of AA similarity. Where does that say? Right here. That would be H. Okay, and then the last thing, always the last thing you're trying to do is what you're trying to prove. So JU over RE is equal to MU over ME. Where does that say that? That's F. And I really should be doing this in lowercase letters because they're giving me lowercase letters. I should be giving it back in lowercase letters. So I'm being naughty. Okay, but you get the idea. Okay, now why are these two, why? So as soon as you say that the triangles are similar, we can go to this next step saying corresponding sides are proportional, corresponding angles are congruent. So what are we talking about? We're talking about angles or sides? We're talking about sides. So we're looking for a sentence that says something about corresponding sides being proportional. So this is saying corresponding angles, so not that one. This is saying corresponding sides are similar. So D is the only one that works. So D and corresponding sides of similar triangles are similar. Boom. Or sorry, proportional. Jeez. Okay, and that was our answer. All right, so other than that, yeah, just make sure you guys are getting this squared away and have a great and wonderful day.